Welcome everyone to Atlas Core Learns From. And today we are joined by Devin Hibbard. Devin is a social entrepreneur. She believes that we can end extreme poverty in our lifetimes. She's the founder and CEO of Street Business School, an entrepreneurial training program that helps women living in poverty to go from an average of $1.35 to $4.19 per day by starting their own small businesses. Through a social franchise scaling model, Street Business School partners with NGOs to adapt and implement the program, increase the incomes in the communities they serve, and magnify the impact in the issues they address. Currently, they have over 160 NGO partners in 25 countries who are collectively addressing 16 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. She's also on the board of Interaction and is a frequent speaker and leadership trainer. Devin, welcome to Atlas Core Learns From, and I want to jump right into the first question. You are engaging so many female leaders and talent. How do you spot and find potential in people?
I really look for a couple things. Number one, I really believe in finding the person and then figuring out the role. So if I find some incredible, talented, passionate young person, I look for ways immediately to plug them in rather than saying, here's the box I want to fill and I'm going to go find that person. So that's number one. Number two, I really have seen over decades of doing this work that finding young people and then nurturing them in their career path has been the single most successful way that we've created leaders in our organization. Helping people grow and learn and develop professionally. And then the third trick that I have for finding the right people is that because Street Business School works with women living in extreme poverty, one of the most important characteristics I look for is humility and this knowledge that we all have something to teach and we all have something to learn. And so I'll take job candidates out into the communities and see how they interact with the women. And if they stand there and they sort of like don't want to sit down because it might be dirty or something, I know immediately that they're not the right fit. And if they sit down and they reach out and they touch that woman on the hand and they engage with the children, that's what I'm looking for, is that like human connection.
I really appreciate that. And building on what you said about nurturing and growing them in the career, is there someone that comes to mind that you found and had, nurtured and helped in their career?
Yeah. I hired an amazing young woman in Uganda many years ago named Vicky, and she actually, when I was interviewing her, she broke down and cried in the interview. It turns out that she was pregnant and had been fired from her previous role because they found it was a religious organization, and they found out that she was pregnant and not married. And I just thought, like, here's somebody who is empathetic, who's willing to, share their emotional self. And I knew immediately that I was going to hire her, despite the fact that that's not what you might look for in an interview. I just felt like the willingness she had to be honest and authentic really showed that I thought she would be talented. And she was amazing for many, many years on our team.
Wonderful. Building on that, what would be your advice to young talented people, especially, in our Atlas Core community, as we're looking for all of the talented people out there? What would you tell them and advise them to do?
I think the single most important thing for young professionals, but really for anyone, is to do what you are passionate about. I teach women how to start businesses, and we always say in the business, if you don't do what you're passionate about, your business is not going to be successful. And I think that that's true in a career as well. So what is it that you care about? Because if you can engage in that way, people are going to see that desire and that willingness to work hard shine through. So find what you care about, find what you believe in, and line up your career around that.
And because it's infectious in a good way.
It's infectious. People will see that you are unstoppable in something that you care deeply about, and that's what draws us to people, right? Is that magnetic enthusiasm for doing something and doing it well.
And lastly, I'm really interested in a fun fact. It's an Atlas Core tradition to ask about something that would make other people smile that they may not know about you.
What I want to share as a fun fact about me is that, now maybe almost 10 years ago, I took what was a relatively small organization and I said, it's my intention to reach 1 million women through our work. And what I want to share is that that was one of the most terrifying moments of my life, because I was taking this thing that, was inside me, and I was saying it publicly. And that's a scary thing. And I think the important thing to know, particularly for young professionals who are moving out into the world, is that successful entrepreneurs, successful people out in the world still feel afraid, still have doubts and challenges. And I think sometimes we look out and we see people who are successful and we think, wow, they just are so confident and they have everything. And so I think it's important just to share that I'm terrified all the time. And what I learned how to do is how to feel afraid and keep going anyway, rather than to let the fear stop me. And I just share that because I think demystifying what success looks like and realizing that success is always scary and it's just about having the courage to move forward is an important lesson for young people to know.
Thank you so much. I can really relate to that. And just hearing you talk about talent, I want us to engage down the line because there's so much more opportunities that we can create. I look forward to doing that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon.
Sounds great.